Oh, you know what time it is. That sound. That's
William.
Hi,
Here
T.
he comes up the mountain. Hey, Arthur.
How are you?
Coming up the mountain with William?
Yeah, absolutely. Here he is.
I see him coming. He's got 5,600 feet to go.
Yeah, he's chugging away on his
That
hay
gravel
burner.
road.
His one horse
Hope his
hay
hoofs
burner.
don't slip.
How are you, Gene?
Hey, I'm good.
We are
Where
here
you
with
been?
Jean Hart, the queen of the cosmos, the astrology queen herself, the numero uno, physics, quantum, energy, pattern maker herself, Jean Hart.
Quantum physics.
That's right.
The study of quantum physics.
Hi, Jean.
The fifth dimension. Hey, Arthur.
William's still trying
Boy,
to get
do
his
we have a
horse into the
show
barn.
for you.
We do.
We have a show for you
We
today,
do.
tonight, and tomorrow.
What are we going to talk about today?
We are going to talk about China. You know, I got some things to say about China, and I got some things to say about America's chart. And I'm concerned about war. I am so concerned about war because, you know, George Washington had a vision. And in that vision, he saw the bear and he saw the Red Army. And I believe the Red Army and the bear are Russia and China. And I am nervous because yesterday on the news, guess what?
What?
5 ships were spotted off of Alaska, China boats. They're big ones. A couple of them were military boats. The others were, you know, whatever they were. They had little green men inside of them.
Oh, there's a little
But,
more to it than that, too. I mean,
I know.
I heard
They-
those reports as well. Yes.
And then and then last week, apparently, the Russia and China were playing military. Ooh, let's shoot bullets at each other and see if we can dodge them.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know whether
they've been known to do this once in a while, but they are getting awfully buddy.
Yeah, it's because there's nobody else to be buddies with. I mean, we've got a clown in office as president here in America, unfortunately, who
Wait,
seems
Gene,
to want
Gene, do me a favor. Tell us really how you feel, okay?
I am. I'm going into it.
That was obvious.
You know, when I saw that he signed that Iranian contract and, you know, he's like, oh, let's get the Senate on it. I'm like, oh, my God, we are really going to do this? We're really going to let Iran have the run of it? They like to run things, you know.
Oh, and they've always have had destruction of Israel at the core of their, you know, political beliefs and foundations.
That's
their goal.
You know, they say that all those, here's something bizarre, in my deep studies of the mystical end of the I want answer type moments that I have many times a day, I came across this book called The 12th Planet by Zecharia Sitchin.
Oh, it's a good book. Excellent book.
Yeah. See, I believe that science fiction is really subconscious memories of things that have gone on before, but people don't recognize it because they don't understand the correlation between the subconscious and quantum physics and past, present, and future. So in this book, he's talking about Meldek, a planet that was between Mars and Jupiter, which now we know as asteroids because this planet Meldek blew itself up. And all the souls that were embodied on that planet have now embodied in the Middle East. And they're trying to do it again. And they nuke themselves.
Actually, my understanding is only the top 2% of those evolutions on that planet took embodiment in the Middle East. So if that's the top 2%, that really makes you wonder what the other 98 were like.
Oh, my God.
Pretty bad. Yeah, I heard the same thing, too, about that asteroid belt. And, you know, there's mystical teachings that talk about the fact that these civilizations have come and gone in the past. So, again, here we are talking about reincarnation. You know, and these guys come back into embodiment again, and they've blown themselves up before. So that's why.
They like to blow themselves up. That's why they walk around with a little suicide vest on.
That's right.
Oh, boy, we get to blow ourselves up again.
Yeah, and they believe
well, you know,
yeah, go ahead.
There's only so many times you can do that, and then all of a sudden it's called second death and sacred fire, you know?
Yeah, and those virgins aren't waiting for those guys up there either. I hate to
I
clue
think
them
this
in
is their
on that.
last hurrah. But the fact is we're alive now, Arthur. You know what that means for us?
Yep.
if these clowns such as Obama get into this, let them have at it, which is what they're doing. They're letting Iran have at it. What are we going to do besides profound prayer on our hands and knees that some divine intercession happen quickly?
That's the only way we're going to be able to solve the problems, folks. I mean, we've talked about in our other shows about these guys taking embodiment, and in this case, most of the bad guys have taken embodiment, and as we know, in the banking industry, and have really done a number on our economy. And then there's bad guys over in China that are helping that situation going on. The only way we're going to be able to beat and defeat these guys is to do prayer work, spiritual work, whatever it is you can do. Spiritual.
Well, first place to go is Archangel Michael. He is my hero. He has saved my life 700 times minimum. And for 7 of those 700 times, he gave me a witness every time. So I wrote a book about it. If you want to buy my book, you can. It's called...
Wow.
Well, I didn't mean to promote that so much as I was wanting to get to the point of angels and their divine intercession, which we absolutely... It looks like... Okay, bottom line, we're between 2015 and 2025. This is, again, the final dragon's tail of the dark cycle of the Kali Yuga. Mankind's returning karma. Choices they make. Leaders, making really bad choices, and the little people doing nothing about it. They're asleep at the wheel. And because these leaders can talk smooth, they follow them around like they're in a hypnotic spell or something.
It's interesting you said this. Leadership, we talk about these fallen angels, and what they do, I found out when I looked into it a little bit, is they lead because their egos know how to quelch fear. So basically what they do is that their egocentric kind of behavior is what quelches the fear. It's their self-esteem that quelches the fear, and then people pick up and run with it. So instead of facing what it is, they find that their fears are being allayed, and so they just naturally try to follow that. And it comes from their self-esteem.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting reading.
We'll have to do a show on psychology and the psychology of what makes people tick.
No, well, you think about it, I mean, right? So you get a guy like Obama, or you get a guy that's a good orator like Hitler, and during the time of World War II, Germany was in trouble, right? Their money was no good. It was like it took a bushel full of marks to be able to buy a loaf of bread. And so here comes in this silver-tongued guy who's got this supposed solution for everything with that self-esteem, and people were afraid of where their next meal was going to come from. So here in walks this guy, and the next thing you know, we'll follow you. Happens every single time. So what was the big draw in this entire last, how many years has it been? 6 years? The last draw has been, great orator. Nothing there.
Yeah, he was a charmer, right. Obama.
That's it.
Although every time I looked at him, I got a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach when he was running for office. I don't know why.
Right.
And, everybody around me was going, oh, look how nice he is. Look how smooth he is, And I'm like, why do I feel this way? And then, of course, I got his chart. But then I don't know if it's his chart because he was born either in Kenya, Hawaii, Timbuktu, Biafra. I have no idea. Tahini.
Yep.
The Sandwich Island.
Tahini. Yeah, out there in the Sandwich Islands. We talked about it before. Joe Arpaio, sheriff of Maricopa County down in Arizona, just outside of Phoenix, did a formal investigation on that birth certificate, and it was found to be fraudulent. And anybody who's done any real, computer tech savvy kind of thing, you can take a look at that, and you can know that whole thing was fraudulently put together. And,
well, Trump also said in 2008, they showed a clip of him on Fox News today, exposing Obama's birth certificate and how the media went after that and made Trump look so foolish, when in all reality he was just, the guy he's a Gemini. Geminis are flippant with their mouth, but you know what? They've got genius. They've got the ability, to think things through. It's just that they got to learn to control the tongue, how it comes out. So, Yeah, he's going to be rough and tough in the realm of how he says it. But you know what? He's got muscle behind it.
Yeah, well, here we go, right? We've got the guys. There have been a lot of these guys that have taken over the media. They have taken over, pharmaceuticals. These guys,
The fallen angels,
yes,
among us,
the
you
bad
mean?
guys.
Yeah.
And so the
Bad
bad guys
guys.
have embedded themselves in this, and the media has always been a mouthpiece, especially in the last, well, I'd say the Kennedy assassination, all the way up there, have been a mouthpiece of this agenda. So if you don't believe us, look it up, check it out, and find out what's going on. So you will see that in the last presidential elections, the media was the ones that basically controlled any information that was coming in and out. I mean, look what happened with Ron Paul. There were I forget how many states that actually had the ability to be able to get him into the GOP ticket. It ended up becoming only 5 because of the media control. There were, things that had happened that kept him from being able to get the preliminary votes and the prelim votes that he needed to win state delegations. Even with that, there were still 5 delegations, which was enough, according to GOP, to be able to get him on the ticket. And what happened was, never made it. It was all controlled. The press had controlled it. They got down to Tampa, and all the teleprompters had already been set for Romney. It was a done deal. So what you need to understand, folks, is that the situation is so bad that we have been receiving information from a very controlled media for a very long period of time. And in the last 10 years, it has gotten worse and
It's
worse.
out of hand. It is
Totally
out of hand. I
Yep.
mean, I'm looking at some of these journalists, and I'm like, are you a good guy or are you a bad guy? Because what just came out of your mouth doesn't,
Are you a good witch or are you a bad witch?
or a bad witch. It's the Wicked Witch of the East.
That's
Oh my
right.
God, I thought we took care of her.
Hey,
She's
so
back.
do you see anything in the-
Reincarnation happens.
Do you see anything in the astrology?
Oh my God, that's where I was going to go with this. The
Yeah?
China thing. Now, we have 6 more months where the progressed moon's going to be in Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of money and power and, the mortgage companies and the banking systems and IRS taxes, inheritances, and other people's money. Now, one thing that you will find in about 6 months is that the progressed moon is going to go into Sagittarius, which is the sign of foreigners, people from faraway places, and adventure. So what I think is going to happen is that we're going to find that there are people that are sneaking over to our arena and probably going to try to shake us up a little bit. And I would say because the progressed moon is only 6 months away from that, or 6 degrees, we're pretty much moving into that kind of energy already. As we started out in this show talking about the fact that China has 5 big boats just off of Alaska right now. And that's never happened. This is the first time. You know what? You're not hearing it all over the news.
No,
I heard a little bit of...
Yeah, and you
It's like
don't
it's-
even hear any of the movement of the military, what's going on. And as you said, Gene, those places where those boats are right now, those ships are places they normally do not go.
They're not supposed to be there. I mean, my gosh. Somebody was telling me that last year there was some sort of missile shot off of the coast of California, and everybody was made to believe it was like some sort of meteorite or something. But it was really a missile, the way that it traveled.
Hey, did you happen to
And
see
so-
did you happen to see the Facebook posting by Jim Mars? Jim Mars is this guy that has been investigating, gosh, all this stuff in the government for a long period of time.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, a very
Never heard of him.
very well liked and very well, respected journalist, and he's done a lot of research on this. He posted a video of another missile shot that went across the sky, and it was visible in Florida. And there was absolutely no announcement in this, and it didn't look like it successfully made it to where it was, and the video kept getting pulled from Facebook and YouTube. So it's out there. Jim Mars, Marrs, has got this. So there is stuff
the thing
going
about
on.
some of these videos, though, I just don't know if what I'm seeing is really what I'm seeing, really. So There's just so much information out there, and you don't know. You try to shift through it to see who's not extreme and who is really wise and actually has that information that could help people make better decisions. It almost is such a turnoff when you hear, like, there's this Alex Jones website, which, I mean, you almost want to give him credibility until you read the next article, and then it's like, oh my God, where does he get this at? And, I think that's what keeps people from looking for the truth in anything that's a little bit hard to handle. We want to be asleep. We want to be able to get up in the morning and go shopping and do what we do as Americans. And the thought of war, that's just something you watch on TV. You don't. But when you think about it, 5 Chinese ships. Last week there was an explosion, or a couple weeks ago, in China. And I don't know why. When I was watching that on the news, and man, that was a big boom, I got this bad feeling about it. I got a feeling that it wasn't just any kind of explosion.
No.
Do you have any comments on that?
I do, absolutely. There were several more explosions this past week, and there is some scuttlebutt that's basically saying that it's possible that those explosions have been done by covert operations. And so it's possible, too, that
covert by who? Who is it? Us?
Somebody, either us or somebody posing as us.
Wow,
yep.
Scary.
Yeah, and that's, in fact, the ships were retaliation for that move.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. No. I was going to say this thing that happened to our army base in Japan. I was thinking, I wonder if there's some sort of connection there. I haven't read all the crazy, loony stuff that's out there about, the fact that the world's coming to an end last week. This is just stuff I'm tuning into, that I'm, trying to look at America's astrology, which is based on math. And then I think about George Washington's vision, and I think about these things that are unexplained.
Okay.
To me, watching that China thing was like a 9/11, not like the 9/11 we had here in America.
In fact, they alluded to that might actually be their 9/11. And one of the things...
Who alluded to that? Who?
Well, there's some reports that are going on that people are saying this at this time. So unfortunately, we don't have anything concrete that's telling us what the truth is in that regard. There's a lot of speculation going on. I've heard a lot of positives. I've heard a lot of negatives. I've heard a lot of what ifs. I've heard a lot of it could be thises, but I haven't heard anything.
Okay, I got an idea.
Yeah. What's that?
Could you please put your cloak of invisibility and travel through the 5th dimension, get over there, and get some information, come back, take off your cloak of invisibility, and tell me?
You can actually
Seriously,
do that.
I know. Someone's got to get some mastery on this.
We need somebody to go over there, and you can actually invoke a cloak of invisibility. And I've done this. I've actually done this, where you want to try to be protected from, bad guys, or you're feeling some negative energy directed at you or whatever, and you can say, "Dear God, I ask for the cloak of invisibility over me." But the problem is then if you want to get waited on at a restaurant, you might not get the waiter to get your attention. It happens. It can happen. It changes your aura, and boom, there it is. Cool stuff. It happens
to me all the time.
Do you do it all the time?
I walk into a restaurant.
Do you do it?
I walk into a store. I walk into a group of people that I haven't seen in forever, and they're friends of mine, and I'm like, why isn't anybody saying hi to me? And then I remember I've got that cloak on. I don't know how to take it off.
You just make the call the opposite way. You just say, I need to have this or you could qualify.
I've been wearing it for years.
I've
been wearing it for years.
Yeah, everything is energy in here. So you can basically say, I want this cloak of invisibility on, except for other drivers that are around me, waiters and waitresses that are around me that can help me, and anybody else that needs to see me at this point. Otherwise, you're going to go through life lonely, Gene. Lonely.
Lonely.
Gene, I have some history about China. And some of the things about China here are absolutely fascinating. So China was supposed to be the source of the embodiment of a root race. And a root race is a group of souls that come together that have to learn a specific lesson. So like in your family, you get a group of people together that are supposed to learn a specific lesson and balance karma together. And then they're supposed to do whatever they're supposed to do. And so you have the same things with a group of people on your baseball team or your bridge club or a group of people that's a country or a city, and it's called a mandala. So that mandala,
right.
Yeah, or that mandala or that accumulation of people come in and they take embodiment. Well, China was where they were supposed to bring forth illumination. In other words, real understanding. So things like Lao Tzu, Confucius, those kind of guys were the good guys bringing that stuff in. They're bringing it in. So now what you have is you have the ancient Chinese divine plan trying to be stopped by the fallen angels taking embodiment. Enter guys
so like Confucius.
Yeah.
Wait. Back up the truck a little bit.
Yeah.
Confucius and those kind of wise guys, whom Lao Tzu, they're like the Jesus is to Christianity, right? To
Yeah,
them.
or saints, the god and goddesses of Hinduism.
God, I love reading Lao Tzu's stuff. It just puts me in the best space.
A good term for
Lao
those
Tzu.
are ascended masters, guys that have graduated from Earth Schoolroom and have ascended. Yeah, there you go.
Which all of us are supposed to do. We grow up, we pass our test. This is Schoolroom Earth, and we become ascended masters. We are pure light energy. We are pure as crystal.
Now, the fallen angels, the bad guys, know that these groups of people are to bring forth the divine plan, and the bad guys don't want to see that happen. So they take embodiment.
Why, though? I don't get that. Why the bad guys would even care that we want to make our ascension or we want to do good things. It just doesn't make sense.
It all goes back to this, and there was war in heaven, and Michael and the angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. And, most everybody knows that in the Christian, in the book. But the point is so these guys were cast down. They took embodiment. This is basically their playground. And so they don't want to see God prevail. So they've got this major hatred toward anybody who wants to do good, who carries the light, and they want to control it. They want to manipulate it, including each other's. So they take embodiment in these areas. They start their scheming. They start their stuff. And they try to prove how much better they are than God. And the next thing you know, they're controlling countries. You get Mao Zedong, kills millions of people. You get Joseph Stalin, kills millions of people. Another one was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who sat on the fact that he knew that Japan was going to attack and didn't do anything about it, wanted to drag America into the war. Also didn't...
Reincarnation of Clinton.
Here's another one. Truman. Truman knew... Let's talk about the Korean Peninsula. When they were fighting the Korean War... Well, see, China intervened, screwed up the whole policy, and everybody said that the generals wanted to use the atom bomb against the Chinese. That actually wasn't the case, but they did want to attack the bases that China had, like I think it was in Manchuria and a couple other places. To make a long story short, they needed to nullify the input of China. China apparently had many people that were bearing the light that came from this group of souls that had to embody. They were basically chased out by the communist Chinese, and they took embodiment and they moved to Taiwan. So apparently Taiwan is such an island of freedom. It's a threat to China. So China has been trying to absorb Taiwan. And what's happening is our country and the leaders that have taken embodiment there that aren't serving that process also don't want to see that happen.
Well, the bottom line is this. It's like when a great rock band plays, like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. They get you going. They get the audience crying and screaming and sending all that energy to them. And basically what they're doing is absorbing all that energy, and it's their light. The audience is giving these people their light, and they get better and better and better at what they do, and the audience gets weaker and weaker and dumber and stupider.
The reason is because the bad guys were cut off from the source of the light. And the source of the light...
so they got to steal the light from the light bearers.
Right. The ones that are bearing the light...
the little guys like you and me.
That's right. That have those little threefold flames in our hearts that tell us that we have the signature of God, and they're trying to get that light that they don't have. They've been cut off from that source. And that was a blessing because God wanted to basically say, hey, look, if you guys turn, stop doing what you're doing... You can come back and, grace will be given unto you and everything is, but no, they want to steal it. No. So let's go. So they take it out of you in one way or another. They give you bad food, bad TV, press that's controlled, your banks, your money, you can't get a hold of it. It's the same bad guys all over again trying to create a war, get us shooting at each other. Ooh, and they'll live off the light and the horror and the blood and the guts and the destruction. Horrible stuff, isn't it?
Okay.
We're done.
He is just...
That's right. I am on a roll tonight.
On right now. He was on a roll.
So we got to get the good guys to get the bad guys out of here, and that's what it all boils down to.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but I'm one of those good guys.
You are?
Yeah.
Then how come you ate all the donuts the last time we had our...
The Trek Upward radio show is going to take everybody upward. If they listen and they pick up the little teeny secrets that are weaved inside the on and on that Arthur does when he talks history.
The rantings and babblings of historical context. Here it is. All for your listening pleasure.
But no, listen, be an undercover agent. Listen between the lines because we got the answers here. And we do want to take you upward. But you can't just bluntly say how to do it because, people just, unless you're Trump. Now, if you're Trump, you can trump it. What's that music for? What the heck is...
Oh, sorry. I got into a James Bond thing there. You were saying,
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little secret agent.
And we have some really cool, tools like James Bond had too, like,
microphones, laser beams,
cosmic erasers,
cloaks of invisibility.
Amazing swords.
Yeah, don't ever put that on when you're in a restaurant or you will go hungry.
Amazing swords with laser, penetration into the... Yeah. Those are real.
Yeah.
Subconscious memory.
That's right.
Yeah, that's where Hollywood gets all their stuff. They just dig in. They just tap.
And what is it? Good guys, bad guys. Good guys, bad guys.
It's always the good guys, bad guys,
Yeah.
Well, the good guys always win. Always. I have never seen a bad guy win. It seems like sometimes they are winning. At the end of the day, it's going to be the good guys that win. So, make sure that the free will choice that you make is to be on the side of the...
Good guys.
Of the sun.
Yeah.
Shine.
Yeah. Sunshine. Oh, isn't that nice? That's really good.
Well, that's where the good guys hang out, is in the sun.
Anyway, China's plan has always been to take over the world. You go back and look at communist stuff. Ooh, this one really gets me, Gene. We have spent the last, I would say mostly the last, since about 95, maybe even before then, 95, 2015, 20 years, building up China. We've been building up their infrastructure. We've been building their buildings. We've been doing all sorts of stuff.
I know. I've been listening to Trump.
Right.
He's been telling us all that.
Yeah. And the next thing is what do we get? Cheap stuff that breaks. We've got food that you shouldn't be eating.
Yeah, we don't get anything out of it. They get it all. We don't get anything.
All in the name of profits, right? So
all in the name of
all
money.
in the name of profits.
Money.
But guess what, folks? The communist Chinese are still the communist Chinese. Have been, will be. There's good people over there, obviously, but you got to read between the lines. We're not these great buddies, and don't let the press snow you on this. It's light and dark.
It's like those 5 ships out there off Alaska that are Chinese. Tell me, anybody out there, you call in or you contact us, and you tell me if that makes you feel comfortable that they're out just so close. I want to hear what you think about all of these things we're talking about. Are we just losing it, or is there something going on here?
Well, that's nice to know. I'm, putting my time to good uses here.
I want to hear from you, and if you have information that isn't fanatical, but is really based on, a centered observation and a little bit of wisdom, we want you to be on our show. So please contact us at the trekupwardradioshow.com. Tell us, how to get a hold of you, what you know, what you have to share. And let's do some undercover work and expose those things that you're not going to see on the news. Speaking of that, I got to tell you this.
What?
All right.
I'm all ears.
I'm listening to this article about 200 some odd people were scooped up in California a couple of days ago by ICE. All of them, 75% of them, were criminals that had been in prison, that had done murders, had been sent back to Mexico, snuck back over to the border, and came to America again.
Surprise.
So I scooped up all of these people. They had a raid, and
you scooped them up?
No, ICE. ICE is the
right.
Immigration, whatever they are. The very thing that O'Reilly and some of those newscasters are saying, oh, we can't just scoop up people and take them back. But anyway, these were criminals, druggies, and illegal aliens. Bottom line, they would hurt you. So it's not heard on the news anywhere. Of course, if it was, that would be a boost for Trump's numbers. Like he needs a boost. He's already going off this.
Well, there's a point right there. See, you're saying these things. It's exactly what he's doing, and you have to understand it. Even though this guy's like super bravado and super Mr. Ego, I mean, what's coming out of his mouth is the truth.
Truth. I know. It's amazing.
And if you don't think, it's not the truth, if you don't think that it is, double check and see if we're right or wrong. That doesn't mean that we're Trump supporters.
He's not perfect, but he's truthful.
He's talking the truth, right?
The thing is that none of the radio stations and none of the TV news stations carried this story.
Yeah, because it goes against their agenda.
It's big. It is big.
It goes against the agenda. It shows the underlying truth that what he was actually talking about is real, and there it is. That they don't want to face it.
Some of them are rapists and druggies, and geez.
Perfect example. Yep.
Crazy. I would love to live on an island of peace where all nations and all peoples.
I thought you did that already.
Loving and kind I did in Lemuria and Atlantis. These fallen ones keep infiltrating our little groups of wonder and destroying us and divide and conquering us. And that's what the media does.
Behind the studio.
That's what Obama's doing. He's dividing us.
Behind the studio, right next to William Tell's, barn stable, don't you have like 3 or 4 unicorns over there?
No, unicorns, they wouldn't get on Noah's Ark. They had a little rebellion. That's why you don't see unicorns anymore with horns on them. I have woodchucks, though, and they're so cute. They did get on Noah's boat. The woodchucks.
The studio at 5,600 feet.
And they're furry. And
woodchucks.
They're so cute. Oh, my God. Anyway.
I have yet to see a woodchuck at that woodpile. I just want you to know.
Oh, yeah. You need to drive up here a little bit more. Climb the mountain. Get a couple of ropes.
Hoist ourselves up.
Hoist yourself up and take a look at the wood pile.
Okay.
Because they're there. They're probably going to hibernate pretty soon, go under. They live way under in the ground. They build their little hotels down there for the winter.
Woodchuck hotels. All right, so Gene's got a woodchuck hotel complex. It's very close to the studio. And,
well, anyway, I want to get back to this war thing because this is I want to expose a little bit of this in America's chart.
This is on the verge of depressing. No. I'm telling you this. So
don't be depressed.
How do we make war fun?
Come on. No, we overcome it. We become victorious. Like Trump said. What did he say? He said, we don't have enough victories. We're not having any victories. Let's start having some victories. Well, in 6 months, we're going to start having some victories. Potentially, because the progressive moon goes into Sagittarius and it'll make a very nice angle to our midheaven only for a couple of months. So it's going to look like the picture is getting pretty nice. It's interesting that this happens about the time that they choose who's going to run, for the final 2 for the president. So there is a progressive moon sextile the midheaven in America's chart. So that means we're going to really like what's coming down the pipeline where that's concerned. But then we have Sagittarius, which means foreigners coming and causing us trouble, lots of trouble for the next 2 years down the road. I mean, again, this starts in 6 months from now, and 2 years. For 2 years, we have to deal with this. So that's why I'm saying, all of you out there, go read George Washington's vision. It's you can get it on Google. It's in the
it's
the
public
Library
domain.
Of Congress.
Yeah, it's public domain.
I mean, it's a prophecy. It is a prophecy, and it is happening before our eyes right now. Of course, he did see us winning, but it was going to be brutal and bloody. And so, it doesn't have to be bloody. We can do our prayer work, and please pray for the planet. Please pray for these things. I don't mean to sound like a religious zealot, but to me, religion is realigning yourself and getting yourself right with your God, however you perceive your God, whatever religion, I don't care. Just do the prayer work for the planet and the people, that we don't go to war, that China straightens up, that the fallen ones go down their slippery little...
down their slippery little what's? Down on their slippery little what's?
They fall on their face in a mud puddle.
Face in a mud puddle.
Just,
Wow. Gene, that was scary.
That's about the worst.
That's about the worst mission you can put on it. But Gene's absolutely right. We talk about these things when they come up, and a lot of times, if we don't know if it's true or not, we'll tell you.
You need to know the cycles in your life. I think, if you don't know your mood of the day or your mood of the moment, to me it's like walking into life or through life blindly. And literally that moon, just the moon by itself, there's 10 other planets that influence you and probably more, but the ones that we calculate are the ones that influence you day to day. The moon, every 2 hours, it's shifting gears and doing something new to you. So you're not Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You are literally a victim of energy that's, coming down the pipeline into your world. And the way to solve and find success and make more money and know where the heck your life is going is to chart your course. So I would love to chart your course for you. Let me do your chart. You can go to astrologygenehart.com and pick a session. And, I'm glad to do a free, 10-minute session just to give you a taste so you can figure out, what you really think about astrology. It is not crystal balling. It is taking math, astronomy, and putting a little psychology behind it and getting information that you really can't afford to be without if you want to have a successful life. If you want to just stay in the little, fetal position, that's fine.
Fetal position. Hey, if they cut and
when it hurts.
Gene, tell them when they come up and actually see you, and you'll give them a donut.
I don't know where he gets this donut stuff. Donut. One time I was talking about his Virgo, and when I'm describing a Virgo, they get stuck on the hole in the donut instead of the donut itself. And I haven't heard the end of this since I said that.
That's right.
I said, quit focusing on the hole in the donut.
We could
switch it on the donut.
We could switch it to bagels. Would that make it easier for you? That's more like
really,
New York. You know what I mean?
In all seriousness,
what?
Knowing your astrology gives you power over your world. Knowledge is power. And we've got heavy stuff coming down the pipeline, and that's no joke, between now and 2025. And you know what? You're feeling it. And I know every single solitary person out there is feeling it, and they don't even know why they feel burdened or why they feel heavy. So the astrology gives you the objective, this is why. This is what's happening. And here's what you can do to fix it. You can fix your astrology, literally. It's not written in stone that you have to be miserable or lose your money or, go through these things. So, making a long story short, astrologygenehart.com, astrologygenehart.com, astrologygenehart.com. Call me, text me. I think also what we'll do is put a link on the trekupwardradioshow.com so that you can, go straight from that link to my link. Or that is my link. Both of those links are my link. And they're Arthur's link too, but whatever. So I'm throwing you.
We're going to put all sorts of links out there, right?
I'm throwing you a lifesaver.
Lifesaver? She is.
Jacket.
She is. Take her up on it, folks. She's throwing it. Yeah, she sure is. Get it done. Seriously, it'll change your life.
It will change your life.
It will.
That's what we're here to do. The Trek Upward radio show is here to change your life as well.
Hey, we have some new email addresses that we can use that we'll hand out to you.
Let's do.
We could do Jean, that's Jean, at thetrekupwardradioshow.com, and Arthur at thetrekupwardradioshow.com. So you can directly contact us, or you can submit the form that's on our website at thetrekupwardradioshow.com. Now we got to cover.
You can also go to youtube.com
and Facebook.
Type in the Trek Upward Radio Show.com. We are everywhere.
That's right.
We're on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are everywhere.
We are everywhere in the consciousness of God.
That's right.
That is right. Okay. So, do you see any timing as to when these guys might show up? Is it that period of foreigners coming into the country? Is that what you saw?
Well, that,
as far as the astrology?
Is the sign that rules foreigners. You know that, right?
Which one?
You know a little bit about astrology.
Yeah, I do.
Sagittarius.
Yeah.
is the sign that rules foreigners.
Gene tried to teach me
Adventure.
astrology, everybody, but I only got so far with it, you know.
Because he's
Just-
lazy.
Lazy. Actually, I'm only kidding. I've been studying astrology for a long period of time, but Gene is definitely the queen. So every once in a while, I throw in a tidbit, and I might be able to get a point, but you know. We'll just,
All right,
we'll keep
here's
thinking.
an astrology configuration that makes me nervous. I want you all to write this date down so I can show you how much legitimacy that this little science has. And that is October 19th through December 18th of 2016. The progress moon will be opposing the planet Uranus, or Electra, as the Greek philosophers used to call it. Uranus is the planet of explosions, surprises, sudden events that you don't get to plan for. And the moon, progressed moon, opposing Uranus in the sixth house. The sixth house is the house of soldiers. So I think this time next year, well, October and November, we definitely are going to be looking in the teeth of, some sort of threat. That will be a 3-month experience where, it's not going to be something that we're going to see coming. Maybe some of those in higher places, in the politics and may know about it, but they're not telling the masses of people that this war is in the development stages right now.
Well, they haven't told us about the underground bases in the center of the country. They haven't told us about the underground base below Stapleton Airport. They haven't told us about any of that stuff. Trust me.
Well, I didn't even know about that.
You didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah, when they moved that airport out from Denver, downtown Denver, out to those cornfields and those other fields that are out, wheat fields and stuff that are out there, there's a complex underground base that's underneath of that airport. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I think I'll put my cloak of invisibility on and go check it out.
Absolutely.
But, again, October 19th through December 19th, 2016, moon opposes Uranus. I predict the potential for a sudden, hang on to your hat, because it's going to be a surprise. And I think it has to do with soldiers and those kind of things. And I don't mean to scare people. Why you want to know these things ahead of time is so you can start doing the prayer work. So you can call to the angels to come in and mitigate the negative influences of the progressed moon in America's chart in Sagittarius, opposing Uranus in Gemini in the sixth house, which rules soldiers in uniform. Now that could be us building our military up, and I do hope so. Like Trump was saying today, not that, I listen to all of them speak. I like Ben Carson, although he's so soft-spoken. I like Rubio. I like Cruz. I like them all. But, Trump was saying today, a lot of our nuclear missiles, the wires are loose and the phones don't work anymore, like they're 40 years old. And that is a reality. Now, if the Soviets and China and Iran and all of these people have their military building, as a matter of fact, we're helping them build it by paying Iran, what?
That's exactly
$120
right.
million trillion dollars.
Yep.
Wait a minute. And this is why I like Trump in this respect only, is that he is saying, come on, people, let's focus on home and get our home solid and safe again. It's not safe. Why would Obama not want us to be safe? Why would he cut expenses in our military? Why would this happen? I don't understand.
You don't really understand?
I don't get it. Unless he's the fallen one.
Well,
And
either that or
wants
he's
to
a
take us
tool of the
down.
fallen ones. Well, there's a lot of people that want to take it down. You were talking about George Washington's vision, right? So George Washington's vision, he got this vision while at Valley Forge, I believe, was when it was, when he got it. And the United States has a divine plan, and that divine plan needed to come forth, and the bad guys don't want that divine plan to occur. So you have a group of people that have infiltrated, the banking systems, the economy, the top levels of government that just do not want to see that happen. They want to control what's going on. But that is not the destiny of America. That is not what we're supposed to be doing, nor is it the destiny of all those other countries out there. But the United States is supposed to be showing the way. And we're supposed to be the magnanimous group here, not the ones that are going and stealing land for the sake of oil or doing other things that are going on that haven't been the positive things that we should be doing. So America has a divine plan and has a destiny. And that's what was being shown to George Washington during that vision, was the destiny of America. And so we need to do some house cleaning.
But destiny, wait, Arthur.
Yes.
Even so, destiny is according to free will choice. I mean, we can make choices to be better, and we don't have to go there. He was just warning us.
Yep, exactly. But what I mean by destiny, meaning the job that America is supposed to do, our dharma, it's also called, our spiritual requirement, why everybody came into it. And that's where you need to understand about illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is coming because America is sponsored, is at some point or another, by the forces of light. And as long as we maintain our connection to that, we will continue to do what we need to do. And that those that take embodiment in the United States are called to be here and are invited to be here. And there's a spiritual requirement for them to be here. So people coming in and just stealing the border or coming in across the thing just because they think they should be here isn't necessarily what they need to. Some people
I've always thought that you had to earn your... I mean, that the only people that got to be born... my language is terrible. The only people that could actually incarnate and reincarnate in America were those that stood for freedom and took a chance. You know, they earned their right to be in this country. So basically, like Trump said again today, you know, you need to speak English when you're in America, you know, because this is America and it's an English language. And English language is the angelic tongue. It's the language of the angels.
Yeah, and I know some people, then they hear this, are going to go, I don't know about that. But Gene is absolutely right. You have to look at this more from the standpoint of a spiritual destiny and that we're spiritual beings having human experiences. So everything else that is being orchestrated around this is trying to get you to take your attention off of that. And one of those things is that people just don't have the right... Gene, this is what gets me about illegal immigration. Now I'm going to get on my soapbox. You know what this is like? This is like somebody moving into your neighborhood and saying that they have the right to live in your backyard of your house.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's no different than that. So I'm going to ask these people that are coming across into the backyard of America down in here, how would you feel about it if we went to your house and just squatted in the back because we say we have the right to be in your backyard, and there's nothing you can do about it? There is no difference between that and the arguments that I'm hearing that are going out there. They're saying we have the right to be here, and this used to be Santa Anta's land, and this used to be ours, and we have the right to be here. No.
You know, I have a lot of Mexican clients, and all of them
Beautiful
are legal.
Hearts. Yes.
Beautiful hearts, and they are legal in America.
And I have a lot of lovely friends.
And they do not like the fact that some of their fellow men and women are coming across the border illegally. They actually don't like it because they did what they were supposed to do. They made themselves legitimate Americans, you know, and they went through the process, you know. So,
that's not
Trump
an easy process.
No, it's not an easy process. And furthermore, Trump may be right. You know, he was saying that I got the Hispanic vote. And so the people that I'm talking to now that are Hispanic, and as a matter of fact, I do have another radio show I do with a woman on feng shui and astrology, and she's from Mexico, but she's an American citizen now, Pilar Mendoza at Sligo. And she said, you know, it does bother her that there are illegal aliens here. And she had to go through what she had to go to become an American. And it's just not right, you know.
Yeah, I welcome anybody into this country.
Trump. She supports Trump.
I welcome anybody into this country who wants to come in legally and wants to go through the process that has to be there. Do we need to...
They'll be my best friends. Seriously, I'll do a radio show with you as I do. You become an American citizen, you're my bud. But you do it illegally, and, you know, I want to have some words with you.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, does that mean that we can't change some of the laws and the rules, you know, to make it better and a little easier? And I think, we should look at that.
Yes, we should. Absolutely. I agree. I agree with that.
There's no reason, there's no reason why this land can't absorb everybody who wants to be here. But the problem is you just don't take it because you think it's yours to take. And
right. You
that's...
have to earn it.
You have to earn it.
And that's what the laws of karma is about. You make karma when you take what isn't yours. unless you've earned it. It's like payday.
That's right.
You got to work 40 hours a week to get your paycheck,
Again, I'll move into the backyard of your house and, I'll take your food.
I got a pretty big backyard. It's a great big mountain. I got a mountain in my back and a mountain in my front.
With guys that chase bears with guns.
Please be legal, and you can live in my backyard.
That's right. With guys that chase bears with guns. I've
Absolutely.
We experienced that.
We got
at
bears.
one show.
We got lions.
Hey.
We've got mountain lions. They're, gosh.
You have
Sometimes
tigers?
when I'm hiking and I'm taking a walk, it's like you feel like somebody's watching you. An animal's watching you.
I had a mountain lion jump across the front of my car when I was up there. Did.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I was going up into the forest. In fact, it wasn't too far from the studio.
They know I'm nice, so they don't jump on me. They watch me.
No,
but I don't sense that they will ever bother me.
They just eat the furry woodchucks out of the woodchuck pile.
There was a great story I was told yesterday about a woman who encountered a bear, and she started taking pictures of it, and she just stood still because she knew that there's nothing she could do. So she just started taking pictures, and all the bear did is come up and sniff her, and then he went on his way. She just stood there, took pictures of it, because it was either he was going to eat her or,
he
was going to get a picture. Because there's nothing else she could do. I mean, that is a true story. And I think animals tune in to fear. If you've got fear, they're going to get you. But I'm not afraid of them, I guess, because I'm, really big on woodchucks.
Okay, and we're saying to the universe, don't set this up. Jean doesn't want to have to encounter a bear if she doesn't have to.
No, not at all. Although I've never seen a bear, quite frankly. Honestly, I've never seen a bear in Montana, and everybody else has, including my husband. He saw a 600-pound grizzly,
I actually saw... I would say probably about 3 miles from the studio, I saw a wolf there.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a wolf. What happened?
They walk across our front yard. So I've seen wolves and coyotes and all of the other creatures. I just haven't seen bears.
No bear.
And I haven't even seen, I've only seen one rattlesnake.
Yeah, we talked about the rattlesnake in the science show.
Yeah, right. Let's not even go to there.
Yeah, let's not go to the rattlesnake. And then we have that Kundalini thing going on again. What?
I think we do have a nest of rattlesnakes, though, because John has run into 2 of them.
Oh, no.
And
near the studio?
We took care of them. Yeah. We figured that they're somewhere, close, because there's mice. They love mice. Mice live in the mountains.
Food supply.
Sorry. Rabbits live in the mountains.
Hey, I don't. As long as they're not the rattlers, Oof. So, but he saw rattlesnakes. Yeah. These were
2 rattlesnakes. So I think we got a nest somewhere.
How big were they?
They killed one of them.
How big were they?
Just 3-footers. They seem young.
Yeah, they're still little.
Yeah. So we John's not afraid of them, so he goes after them.
They have problems with pythons now down in Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is because America at large is misusing the sacred fire a lot.
Correct.
You know what the sacred fire is? We don't need to go there.
That's right. Things happen. They're brought into your space because it's a reflection of your consciousness.
Them.
Right.
Yeah,
you magnetize these. It's a reflection. Everything in your world is a reflection.
Anger. That's why I never see bears, because bears are a reflection of anger. They have perpetual headaches. That's why they're always,
I'd be angry if I had a perpetual headache.
Well, their brains are really, really small, and it squeezes that it gets squeezed in their head, and it hurts.
Hey, yo, bear. So if you carry some aspirin or Tylenol with you, maybe the bear will. I'll try that next time. So bring your bear spray to Yellowstone Park and throw in a bottle of Tylenol.
Bring your bear spray, and then bring Archangel Michael, too. Make sure that you have some angels protecting you, because they will, they will.
Hey, Gene, I want to throw a plug in here we were talking about what we could do about this whole China situation and war. Please visit prophecyisgiven.com, because in there we talk about the agreement call, and I'll be posting some extra calls on there, and you can just give them the way they're written right there. But the explanation about the good guys, the bad guys, what part we play, it's all out there. And it'll give you a good start and a head start. So go check it out. And then give me your comments and things that you would like, especially if you want to do any kind of prayer work on any specific kind of things, and we'll get prayers out there that everybody could give, and we'll post it
Well, there's
along
another
with
thing we could
spiritual
do.
resources
There's another
as
thing.
well. Yes, what?
There's something else we could do to help.
Yes.
We could actually take the charts of America, charts of China, charts of Japan, charts of Mexico, charts of any nation, and put your chart in the center of it and see if you are affected by any of the movements that those countries and nations would be.
Wow, that's great.
So, yeah, there's a million things we can do. And then if you see the energy, you can start doing the agreement calls or the prayers or the decrees and take care of it. And, before you have to be, in a situation that, like in Ukraine. You don't want to be in Ukraine.
Don't. Yeah.
I mean,
Get out. Yeah, some of it's pretty obvious, Yeah, so, but anyway. Hey, so these tools are there, we're here to help you out. And let us know
the trek
what's
upward
going on.
is worth it. It's worth the inconvenience. It's hard to go up, but we need to go up. So we're going to wrap up this show. And if you have any questions about anything we were talking about, please contact us.
Yes,
at the radio,
we want to hear from you.
at thetrekupwardradioshow.com.
Absolutely.
And so, Arthur, were we too serious?
Yeah, we were kind of serious here. We got to lighten it up on the next show. Let's,
Yeah. All right, we're going to have a humor section.
A twinkle of mirth is what we need.
Needed on Earth.
That is right. We'll have a humor section. So we'll bring it up.
Okay, so,
all right.
William, tell.
He's coming.
The horses on
There
over.
he is. He's our guy. He'll be right there. So join us again, Gene. What do you say? All right.
Okay.
We are the Trek Upward Radio Show. Bye. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching for the Trek Upward Radio Show so you won't miss any episodes. Or visit us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/trekupward and be sure to click like on our page. Or visit our website at thetrekupwardradioshow.com. The Trek Upward Radio Show is a studio at 5600feet.com production.